Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another action figure review, and today we will finally be wrapping up my looks at the Mythic Legion's All-Stars 6+ wave with the alumni vote winner, Sir Ignatius. That means Sir Ignatius got an All-Stars release in the past, but was offered up again because he's going for stupid money again. So kudos on the Horsemen for doing that. However, I feel like they should have saved this guy for version 2. Not gonna lie. Maybe we should have got Sir Graileron, whatever you want to call him on. But that's just my 2 cents. Of course, this is brought to us by the fine folks over at Four Horsemen Studios. And don't worry, we'll be revisiting Four Horsemen over the course of the next week with some other non-Legions and some Legions-related figures I've picked up recently that I haven't gotten around to reviewing yet. That said, why don't we pause for a moment and address the elephant in the room? No, it's not Ganesha, but we will be looking at him too. I got the dragon, okay? I got the $550 dragon with the $150 fiery breath add-on kit, okay? I didn't make a video talking about it when it was up because I didn't know if I was going to get it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to afford it. I really didn't. I kind of lived on credit for a while, as one does when you make a stupid decision like that. But hey, we're getting the dragon. My collection is going to have a massive, badass looking centerpiece other than the Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Devastator from Hasbro. Because I do consider that a pretty awesome piece, along with my Number of the Beast Eddie from Iron Maiden and or Art Asylum. That's like 2 feet tall. I mean, he's pretty much a centerpiece, right? Maybe even the Solomon Grundy from Batman Arkham City from DC Collectibles. He's a pretty big chunk of plastic. Or Pit from Toy Biz. Either way, I got some decent pieces, right? I don't have anything like that. That is like, you know, your Galactus or your Sentinel or your Giant Man or your Unicron, Jabba's Sail Barge, the Razor Crest, whatever the Rebels ship was called. I know I'm naming a bunch of Hasbro stuff. Your Eternia, you know, something like that. But for me, okay? Speaking of which, I do have a Triptychon sitting over there too, also from Hasbro, of course. But yes, I bought the dragon. It's coming late next year. Very much looking forward to it. And I also happen to have a line on a second Ashen Skeleton. So I'll be one of like 5 people online that has 2 of those and didn't have to sell an organ to get it. That said, on to the topic at hand. This big old chunk of reuse here. So, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get to the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at all Ignatius has to offer in terms of accessories, because it ain't much. Starting off with the sword. It's a fine sword, but just a sword. We do have the shield with both the handle and the clip here. Give them those if you want. We also have the spear, which we've seen with a million figures at this point. Side note, if you ever go to Legions Con, my buddy Patrick Boyle paints these up and sells them to look like real wood. So pick one up and tell him Overlord Production said, "What's up?" So there you go. And last but not least, I've embarrassed him enough on this show. We got the back adapters. Because there are wings in this wave. If you guys want me to cover that stuff, check my Instagram. I've done unboxing videos for, I believe, this entire wave. I'm not sure if I did it for the All-Stars, like the actual All-Stars, or just like the new stuff. But expect unboxing videos for a lot of stuff over on Instagram from here on out. I unbox literally almost everything. The exception of like Marvel Legends waves and DC Multiverse figures, depending on what it is. But taking a closer look at Sir Ignatius here. One of the things I think that really put this guy over characters like Asterion and Who are the other two? Carpathius and Pixis? I feel like Pixis was first released in an All-Stars wave. I don't think he was in an actual wave. So it kind of makes sense for him to be in there, but Carpathius didn't sell very well, and I don't think goes for a lot. He was around for the longest time, but either way, not one of the most desired vampires. I think he deserves a version 2 just to spruce him up a bit. But I think the main reason people wanted this guy again is because the paint on the previous versions kind of flakes. And this one feels very, very solid. I think one thing the Horsemen have done in recent years, the paint is very, well, not tacky, we'll say. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head can look up pretty far, down pretty far, can tilt, and rotate side to side. His shoulder pads will pop up so you can move his arm up. Just feels so weird messing with like the newer Valiant Knight build and then this one. You can pop him down, you can rotate him forward and back. He's got a single jointed elbow with rotation. He's got a swivel at the gauntlet, swivel at the wrist, hinge at the wrist. Diaphragm will move this far forward, this far back, or waist I should say. He also has a waist twist. It's not loose or anything. No, it's not loose. I was going to say it was loose in like the neutral position, but everywhere else is pretty tight. I think I just kind of shimmied it into place there. It's not too bad now. Hips will kick forward, back, out to the side, back down. He's got a thigh cut, single jointed knee, and a ball hinge ankle that will rotate, hinge, pivot, and then he does have a peg haul on each foot. So that's Ignatius in a nutshell. You can adjust the wings here, but you can definitely tell this is like a first Kickstarter figure. And back in the day, I probably would have loved this guy. I'm not gonna lie, I would have thought he was pretty freaking cool. But you know, I haven't had him as long as a regular on the channel, Brother Mandibble. And unlike Clavian, you know, I didn't vote for this guy. I voted for Asterion. I like the monsters. I like the bad guys. I like the scary looking stuff. But Asterion didn't win now, did he? Kind of hoping we get him and Torian as brute scale, or at least with a brute scale upper body, because they just feel kind of awkward, to be honest with you. I feel like there are certain characters, if they upgrade them, they need to use like the bigger parts, because it would just suit the race more. But at any rate, I do still like this figure. He's not bad by any means. It's just, compared to what we get nowadays, he is lacking. And I think if they... Well, they're probably not doing All-Stars, because they're going to do the... that whole Legacies of Mythos thing. And they're starting with freaking Otho, thank God. But I imagine they're going to just spruce up old characters, give them a lot of accessories, and call it a day. I don't think they're going to do every single character, but, you know, maybe Ignatius will be eligible for that since he's a fan favorite. I wouldn't expect the likes of, like, Clavian or Scaphoid to get it, but I would think Ignatius would probably get it. Who else? Galaron will probably get it, because he never even got a freaking All-Star. Probably not Owain. I'm thinking of other characters from this faction. Gwendolyn Heavensbrand might get it. Other characters, Urku, Kador, because they never had an All-Star release. And they're kind of hard to get, even though Kador was in the subscription boxes. We're not going to talk about that. But I'm going off on a tangent here. So, you know, stay tuned for Legacies of Mythos. Post-Otho, I guess. See what the Horsemen do next with that. Because I imagine that's going to take the place of All-Stars. Inevitably. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Sir Ignatius alongside another figure that doesn't make him feel so inferior, Clavian, the red skeleton, which, not gonna lie, still don't get why everyone dogs on this guy. He won the vote fair and square, and quite honestly, it's more interesting to me than Ignatius here, but to each their own, I suppose. I guess neither of them are the infamous Sir Galaron or Graileron, as I've heard throughout the Legions community. That said, we do have representation of what knight figures are like nowadays with Sir Enoch, who is from the very same wave, and that is a top 10 Mythic Legions figure of the year if I ever seen one, unless we get a butt-ton more skeletons. But yeah, that ain't no touching that. Sir Gideon comes close, but Enoch can utilize the skull faceplate. Gideon can't. Does that make him better or me biased? The choice is yours, but either way, getting these two out of here before Ignatius starts to get jealous. Let's bring in our two regulars, the Brother Mandibleth. Right there. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, we don't count the wings on his helmet, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and had you given me this figure a few years ago, I probably would have been like, man, this is one of the sickest knights I got. Nowadays, especially since he's in the wave with arguably my favorite knight figure from the Life of the Mythic Legions line, Sir Enoch, good old Sir Ignatius here is just kind of meh. And really, as far as I'm concerned, should have been a version 2. Because we've gotten updated versions of practically all the parts he uses. Kind of weird that the Horsemen didn't just do that and give us somebody else like, again, Sir Galaron, who goes for a pretty penny on the secondary market. But hey, it's the alumni vote. He won the alumni vote fair and square. Kind of saw that coming. As much as I wanted Asterion, I knew that it would either be between him or Ignatius here, and probably because Aetheron was on everyone's minds, Ignatius took the vote. Now, if we can only get the Horsemen to reissue older characters that they don't plan on making version 2s of, through other means other than mystery boxes, because, let me tell you folks, I got one of those last year, and, well, let's just say there was no Cador, Faunus, Sir Godfrey, or literally any character I didn't have in that. So, yeah. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.